How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. We are talking about one of my favorite companies right now to invest in that's in the EV space. And I think I'll probably be buying a good amount more. I should have been buying more earlier. So we're going to talk about Switchback Energy or Chargepoint. So this stock has been on our rampage recently. We're going to go through all of that, talk about what it has going for it in the future, the coming merger, and talk about what I think about the company in general, whether it is still a good buy when it's been up significantly from when we start buying it. So if you guys like this, please leave a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. Also, if you want, you can definitely check out the link down below to WeBull, get 4 free stocks. It really helps out the channel. Also, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, we are just crossing 20,000 subscribers right now. So we're on the road to 25,000. If we could get there by Christmas, that'd be awesome. So if you want to do your nice thing for the day, subscribe to the channel. And then if you want to see exactly what I'm buying and selling, you can check out the link down below to Patreon. I tell my Patreon members exactly what I'm buying and what I'm selling. And we have about 15 people in there, so definitely check that out. So Switchback Energy is up 8.1% today, and it's coming down a little bit, which I like to see because I want to buy a significant amount more. You can see over the last 5 days, we are up about 60% almost, and this is after we were up pretty significantly after the merger announcement. So we are up from $10 a share to $27. Now, if you don't know what they are a charging network, a charging company for electric vehicles. So we've done one video on them in the past, and I'll link to it on the end screen if you want a little bit more background on the company. But they are a very interesting stock to buy because unlike all these electric vehicle stocks, they are a lot safer. These electric vehicle companies all are trying to get customers, they're trying to produce the best vehicle possible. They're all vying for the same user base and the same demographic. So GM is fighting with Tesla, which is fighting with NIO, and all these companies are going for the number one spot. Now, with ChargePoint, this is much safer because not many people are trying to get into the charging space. So you are essentially, what do they say for the gold rush, that the people that made the money were the ones selling the shovels, not the one mining for gold or, finding gold. So that is one of the reasons I like ChargePoint so much. Now, they are dipping a little bit right now, so I might have to buy some right after I finish this video. But there's some interesting information about Switchpoint. And again, I'll tell you about whether I think it's still a good value because it is up a lot. So there's some interesting information. First of all, they offer 115,000 charging points. So they are the largest in the world. You can see here that they control 73% of the L2 charging network, which is really significant. These are like the Tesla chargers, those types of charging stations. So with these charging points, if you're thinking about Tesla and you're like, well, can Tesla actually use them because Tesla has their own charging stations? Yes, Teslas can use ChargePoint. So that is something that you need to know just offhand. And then it says here, with EVs expected to account for 30% of new vehicles sold in the US and Europe by 2030, the addressable market will continue to grow. If you're looking for a company that has short-term momentum and long-term momentum, you can look at ChargePoint because we're going to have a massive amount of these vehicles. ChargePoint is expecting to increase revenue pretty significantly. They're expecting a little bit of a drop here because of 2020 and everything that's going on. They are expecting a little bit of a drop in revenue, but they are expecting to grow to about $2 billion in revenue by 2026. They are selling at a pretty high multiple right now. So as I can tell, because they have been moving a lot, and with these SPACs, it's kind of confusing to try to calculate exactly how much they're worth because the company is only buying a percentage of the other company. As I understand it, they're worth, approximately $6 to $7 billion right now with the market cap of the company and with the merger. They are expecting to merge towards the end of the year. That is what's pushing the stock up right now. That's why I think a lot of people are buying in because it's looking more and more likely that it's going to happen towards the end of the year. But with a enterprise value of about $6 billion, we are trading at a pretty high multiple for what it will be earning even in 2026, right? So that would be a price to sales ratio of about 3 right now. Now, I think that will continue to go up, especially with a couple pieces of news that have come out. First of all, there's this from Biden. This was in the debate a couple weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago, but I'll just play it here for you.
Number two, we're going to make sure that we are able to take the federal fleet and turn it into a fleet that's run on their electric vehicles. Making sure that we can do that, we're going to put 500,000 charging stations and all of the highways that we're going to be building in the future. We're going to build an economy that, in fact...
So right there, Biden's saying that they're going to build 500,000 charging stations, and Switchback already owns a majority of that network. So that is going to add a lot of revenue for their top line. I think that will be really important going for the next 5 years with Biden pushing for electric vehicles. And I think any other president that comes in, that after we start to build all these electric vehicles and these stations, I think that they'll continue to do this. Even 10 years down the line, they're saying that the number of EVs on U.S. roads is projected to reach 18.7 million in 2030, up from 1 million at the end of 2018. They need somewhere to charge, right? That's about 7% of the 259 million vehicles expected to be on U.S. roads. So you have to remember that they're going to be older vehicles. So 7% of all vehicles will be EV by then. And about 9.6 million charging points will be required to support that 18.7 million. Think about that for a second. So right now it says in the US that there are about 25,000 charging stations with 79,000 charging outlets. So with Chargepoint owning 70% of those in the US, there is a lot of room to grow, especially because they say that we basically need 9.6 million charging points, and we only have, let's say it's even 100,000 right now. That means that we would almost have to get 100 times more than we have right now in the next 10 years to support all these EVs. If you take Chargepoint's revenue of about 100 and let's say 150 million, multiply that by 100, assuming they continue to have the same market share. So instead of looking at 2026, looking at 2030, 100 times whatever they have now, assuming they can grow to that point, that would be about $15 billion worth of revenue. Again, this is extrapolating a little bit and might not actually come to fruition, but with that price, with that amount of revenue, we are looking at a lot of growth, especially when you consider they're only estimated to be about $6 billion with the current stock price, $6 to $7 billion. I think we could see it go up a lot over the next 10 years, even a lot over the next few years as they continue to increase revenue, and there's still a lot of room for expansion. We're talking about pretty much just the US, but when you consider them moving into other countries, there is a lot of room to grow. So that is what I'm thinking about Switchback. I don't think it's too expensive if you're looking over the long term. I plan on buying more. I should have bought more and stopped filming a video for a little bit there because it's up 4.5% since earlier. But let me know your thoughts on it below. Let me know if you are buying it or selling it or what you're doing now that's up significantly. I'd be really interested in hearing. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for checking out WeBull. And if you want to see that previous video on Chargepoint, I'll put it on the end screen here, giving a little bit more background on the company. Thanks.